Hey everybody, welcome. Welcome to this first edition of our Beatles mini-series. We're very excited about it. And the way we're going to do it is we're going to tackle 2 years each week. So this week it's 1963 and 1964.
Because they have way too many songs to try to pick one show worth. So we're going to do 4 whole shows.
And what's cool about that too is there's a vibe to each of those pairs of years. You know, the real initial burst of energy of the early Beatles is what we're going to tackle today. Before we do, we want to welcome everybody who has been here every week for the past 42. This is our 43rd show. All of our shows are archived for the newbies, and we do lots of specialty shows, and you can see them all over on YouTube. If you're watching on YouTube, please hit the subscribe button. If you haven't yet, it should be down there if you're watching on a computer, and hit the like button. Improves the quality. And and then every time we put up a new video, you'll get an alert about that. We're gonna, I also want to say, on YouTube, the chat window comes up. We don't see every chat because we're busy singing songs, but we go back later and see all your comments. But I love to see where people are tuning in from. We have people all over the world tuning into this show. And just before we went live, Pete said, it would take us years to cover all that territory, if we were driving to each of these places. So, we like to see the silver lining and everything.
I was wearing the face mask that Ilsa made for us over in the Netherlands.
I see.
I thought it'd be appropriate today because it's got Big Ben, big Ferris wheel, a Beefeater, a tea kettle, a London Underground sign.
Does it have the gherkin?
It does. I don't think they have the gherkin yet, but it's got an umbrella. Of course, you need one of those over in London.
Yeah.
So I thought that I would wear this English face mask today.
Let us know, if you will, if the picture and the sound are good while we're introducing this. Before we start our first song, we do want to acknowledge the fact that several of our viewers this week have lost loved ones, and so we're going to pay tribute to them during the course of the show. But first, we're going to start off with one of your requests. Sound good, everybody? Can you hear and see? I don't see any complaints, so I'm going to guess that's a yes.
We're going to start with the theme song of a movie that my sister and I saw when it first came out. You had to go to Waxy Maxie's, the record store in downtown D.C., weeks in advance and buy a ticket because it was going to be sold out for many shows in a row. And so we got our tickets, and our mom drove us down to the theater, and we went in and sat down. And when the movie started, all the girls started screaming at the screen. It was great.
We're going to send this first one out to Dan. A lot of people requested this, but Dan Unger just requested it this morning.
So sing. I know you're going to sing along with all of them.
And this is a dance show, too, so we hope you'll dance along as well. Ready?
Yep.
You got that.
Or you can scream if you want. You scream at the computer.
You can hit the magic chord.
It's been a hard day's night, and I've been working like a dog. It's been a hard day's night. I should be sleeping like a log. But when I get home to you, I find the things that you do, you make me feel alright. You know I work all day to get your money to buy you things, and it's worth it just to hear you say you're gonna get me everything. So why should I mourn? 'Cause when I get you
You know, they did a Les Paul trick in the
Yes.
solo of that song. George Martin, I think, came up with this idea where you would slow the tape down to half speed. So the song would be, instead of hard day, it'd be, it's been a hard day.
No, it'd be lower too.
So when it came to the solo, George could go. Which is really hard. If maybe like a really good classical player could do it, could do it up to speed. And then George Martin doubled it on the piano. And then when they sped it back up, it's this really hard solo to play.
But you played it in real time.
Yeah, but well, George, when I saw the movie 8 Days a Week, is that what it was called, the Ron Howard movie?
Yeah.
And they were playing at Shea Stadium, and George went.
He did it. He did it live.
He did a different fingering,
Ah.
which I did too. That's easier than going. They had all kinds of little cool production tricks that they did.
We're going to move right along with a big happy birthday greeting to my old Syracuse homie, Carol LeBlanc. It's her birthday today. Me and Carol used to go out and see all the local original bands, but all the original bands did at least 1 or 2 or 3 or 5 Beatles covers. So we're big Beatle heads.
Yeah.
Happy birthday, Carol. I know the rest of the community will probably wish you a happy birthday too. And this is our audio birthday card.
This was the theme song of a show too. It was their BBC radio show.
Right.
And when they sang it, they called it From Us to You.
Yeah.
So we'll do
Ready?
it from me to you. Yep.
1, 2, 3.
If there's anything that you want, if there's anything I can do, just call me and I'll send it along with love from me to you. I got everything that you want, like a heart that's oh so true. So call on me and I'll send it along with love from me to you. I got arms that long to hold you and keep you by my side. I got lips that long to kiss you and keep you satisfied. Ooh, if there's anything that you want, if there's anything I can do, just call me and I'll send it along with love from me to you. From me to you, just call me and I'll send it along with love from me to you. I got arms that long to hold you and keep you by my side. I got lips that long to kiss you and keep you satisfied. Ooh, if there's anything that you want, if there's anything I can do, just call me and I'll send it along with love from me to you, to you, to you.
That
Happy
A
birthday.
flat. That A flat is why we didn't play Beatles songs in my garage band.
Yeah, right.
We could play C and A minor, but this chord, that was way beyond our understanding.
Speaking of, from me to you, we've got a really cool listener letter I want to read.
Okay.
Okay. Michael Adams sent this in, and he said, dig this. This is so cool. I was one of the very lucky ones who was in the audience for the Beatles' February 9th Ed Sullivan appearance. I know that date.
Yeah, I know it well.
It's Pete's birthday, February 9th. That was a good birthday for you.
Yeah.
Besides the 8 p.m. broadcast earlier that afternoon, I also caught the dress rehearsal, of which the Beatles' performances were taped to be shown 2 weeks later. After the dress rehearsal, my father, who was a friend of Ed Sullivan's, and I were escorted backstage where we met the Beatles. They signed a photo to Michael. So they were my first live rock and roll band, and I saw them the first 2 times they played in America, all on the same day.
Wow.
You win.
Wow. Because the Ed
Can't
Sullivan,
beat that.
the first and the third shows were actually done on the same day.
Yeah.
And he was there.
Wow.
How cool is
Isn't that
that?
amazing? Hey, before we move along, I just want to give you the address of our webpage where you can see all of our tip jar information. I won't give it to you all here, but if you go to thekennedysmusic.com And also, if you're on YouTube and you look at the description down there, you'll see all of our tip jar information, and it's always optional. And we are so appreciative of you, always. All right, we're going to move right along. Yes?
I think people might recognize this song.
And we're going to send this one out to Bo Jane, because Bo Jane, she asked for a lot of different songs, but she told me she's a Beatles freak. And any Beatles freak is welcome here, especially
This is the first Beatles song I ever heard on the radio.
Ready?
Yep.
1, 2, 3.
She loves you, yeah, yeah, yeah. She loves you, yeah, yeah, yeah. She loves you, yeah, 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 yeah. You think you lost your love? Well, I saw her yesterday. Who she's thinking of, and she told me what to say. She says she loves you, and you know that can't be bad. Yeah, she loves you, and you know you should be glad. Said you hurt her so, she almost lost her mind. Now she says she knows you're not the hurting kind. She says she loves you, and you know that can't be bad. Yeah, she loves you, and you know you should be glad. Ooh, she loves you, yeah, yeah, yeah. She loves you, yeah, yeah, yeah. With a love like that, you know you should be glad. No, it's up to you. I think it's only fair. If I can hurt you too, apologize to her, because she loves you, and you know that can't be bad. Yeah, she loves you, and you know you should be glad. Ooh, she loves you, yeah, yeah, yeah. She loves you, yeah, yeah, yeah. And with a love like that, you know you should be glad. And with a love like that, you know you should be glad. And with a love like that, you know you should be glad. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So much fun.
You
I know
know-
you're all singing along, got that third part down.
You know, Jeff Emmerich, there, who engineered their, starting with Sgt. Pepper, their later albums, he said in his book that he thinks that's the single best recording that they ever did. And it had so much energy because there was actually a riot going on in the studio. The girls who hung around outside, they managed to break into EMI.
Oh, wow.
And the actual Studio 2, the door was locked, but there were girls running all through the halls screaming
Oh, wow.
while they were recording that. So I think it gave an extra kind of.
Is that real, or is that just like fake lore?
Jeff Emmerich,
Jeff, he would know.
he would not
wouldn't
lie.
Yeah.
He was there.
He would not lie.
Yeah.
One of our dear friends out in San Francisco, Chuck and his wife Kathy, Chuck asked for this song. And this is one of my absolute favorite Beatles songs. I love playing it. It's really fun to play. It just
Yeah.
bounces along.
It's from Hard Day's Night again.
Yeah, ready?
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, go.
Tell me why you cry and why you lie to me. Tell me why you cry and why you lie to me. Well, I gave her everything I had, but she left me standing on my own. Did you have to treat me
song, man. They got that shuffle. Ringo and Paul, they had that shuffle groove
Yeah.
down. And Ringo did that great fill. Ba-ba-da-do-do-do-do-do. And he played differently because he is left-handed. He's one of the two left-handed Beatles, but he set up right-handed, and so the fills that he played were different from what a right-handed drummer would play.
You know, I always knew that Paul was left-handed. I didn't know the Ringo until just now. Because and that's easy to tell with the guitarist. I guess a
sure.
drummer would know, but if he sets up,
Some drummers do set up the opposite way, but Ringo
Yeah.
sets up the normal way.
Wow.
But then but he leads with his left hand and
Yeah.
he plays a fill.
Yeah, he always did look-
Instead of bapa-do-bapa-da, he goes do-bapa-do-bapa-do-bapa.
yeah, you're right. I
It
always
has a unique sound.
you can see, like, if you just saw a shadow, like a silhouette of Ringo playing, you would know it's Ringo because of that. And I
Yeah.
never knew why until now. Now I know. See,
Yeah.
you learn something.
He's a great drummer. It's amazing to me when people criticize his drumming because if he was so bad, why does everyone play like him? Ever since,
Ringo's the best.
ever since
Ringo's
then,
the best.
He what he did was integrate the drumming into the composition
Yeah.
of the songs. When you play a Beatles song with the drummer has to play Ringo's part.
Definitely.
That's what I love.
And Ringo just released a new recording. Ringo and Paul, they're both they're still recording.
It's really good.
It is really good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Here's to the nights we can't remember with the friends we can't forget. That's a good. That's a good line. Anyway, we're not going to do that one. We're going to do another. Well, they're all
It's another
classics.
Ed Sullivan one.
Yeah.
Ready?
Yep. 1, 2, 3.
Oh yeah, I tell you something I think you'll understand when I say that something. I wanna hold your hand, I wanna hold your hand, I wanna hold your hand. Oh please, say to me, you let me be your man. And please, say to me, you let me hold your hand. You let me hold your hand. I wanna hold your hand. And when I touch you, I feel happy inside. It's such a feeling that my love I can't hide, I can't hide, I can't hide. Yeah, you got that something I think you'll understand when I say that something. I wanna hold your hand, I wanna hold your hand, I wanna hold your hand. And when I touch you, I feel happy inside. It's such a feeling that my love I can't hide, I can't hide, I can't hide. Yeah, you got that something I think you'll understand when I say that something. I wanna hold your hand, I wanna hold your hand, I wanna hold your hand, I wanna hold your hand.
Doesn't that make you happy? That we have to send that out to Bill and Sylvia. They asked for that one.
Yeah, oh, great,
Bill,
great.
Bill King and Sylvia. So that's for you. And yeah, that's got to make you smile. How can it not make you smile?
I know. I think that was the last one they played on Ed Sullivan. And they had just conquered the world
Yeah.
in one TV show.
We told you that a number of our viewers lost people this week, and our friend Sherry McGuire lost her husband Frank, who was a friend of ours. Frank, the last time we saw Frank was one of our last gigs in January last year at the Man Cave.
Randy's Man Cave.
Randy Now's Man Cave
in New
out in New
Jersey.
Jersey. A little record store, and it makes sense that Frank was there because Frank was a huge music geek and a huge music collector, especially of rare videos and recordings. And Frank used to send us whole CD spindles of rare music videos, and we were just shocked to find out that he passed away last week. Very sad, tragic. And Sherry and Frank both met through music, and so I asked Sherry if there was a song that we could dedicate to Frank, and she said that this song of all the Beatles was his favorite song. So
mine too.
Yeah, it's a great one. So for Frank McGuire, with our deepest condolences to Sherry, no reply.
This happened once before. I came to your door, no reply. They said it wasn't you. I saw you peek through your window. I saw the light. I saw the light. I know that you saw me, 'cause I looked up to see your face. I tried to telephone, they said you weren't at home. That's a lie, 'cause I know where you've been. I saw you walk in your door. I nearly died. I nearly died, 'cause you walk hand in hand with another man in my place. If I were you, I'd realize that I love you more than any other guy, and I forgive the lies that I heard before when you gave me no reply. I tried to telephone, said you're not at home. That's a lie, 'cause I know where you've been. I saw you walk in your door. I nearly died. I nearly died, 'cause you walk hand in hand with another man in my place. No reply. No reply.
Much love to you, Sherry.
Yeah. He was, you know what, anything British Invasion, he had the UK single, which is the
No,
real-
that was Danny.
Oh,
That was Danny.
yeah.
We have a lot of music geeks that send us stuff. No, but he sent us. He
Oh,
sent
the
us the
DVDs.
DVDs.
Yeah, the
there was one
DVDs are
DVD he
amazing.
sent us, and it had a bunch of old Carol and Hester movies. And we're friends with Carolyn, and I wrote to her and I said, "Do you have these?" And she said, "No, I don't have them." So I don't even know if he got them to her. I told him about it. He might have sent them.
The DVD stuff
Yeah,
is amazing.
really cool
man.
black
I
and
learned
white.
so much from that.
Yeah.
We study that stuff, you know. Like if you're a biologist, you study biology.
Yeah.
And what we do, we study like pop music all the time, and we're constantly learning from you all because we have so many professors of
Yeah.
pop music out there, and they send us this amazing stuff.
So while you're switching guitars, you know, one of our listeners, actually several of our listeners, often ask, and Tally Kennedy, no relation, asked recently, why you switch guitars. Can you tell them why? What is the reason?
Well, basically just because they have different sounds, you know, like No Reply on the Beatles record, Lennon's playing his big Gibson hollow
Acoustic.
body acoustic. And so to really get the sound, that fullness of sound that they had on that record, you want to play the same thing. But then they have a lot of other songs that are kind of more rockin'.
Yeah.
And this one's kind of an R&B. It's actually one of their covered songs. They loved all those early 60s like New York pop music things. And this is one of those.
Actually, I'm going to tune because I think I'm not, you might notice that I'm playing a different guitar than I usually do this week too. And that's because it's a Gretsch. And it's very Beatle-y. And it's got a little bit more of that 60s Beatles, even though a lot of the Beatles songs did have some acoustic guitar on. I thought for this show I would play mostly the Gretsch guitar.
Yeah.
It's cool looking too, isn't it? Beautiful.
You know, for my birthday show, if you were tuned in back in October, Maura had a show where she, on her birthday, where she chose all of the songs. And on my birthday, which is coming up, it's actually coincident with the Beatles' first appearance on Ed Sullivan. That was my birthday. And what I'm going to do for my birthday is a show that I'm going to call Pete's Pawn Shop. And I'm not really going to pawn anything or sell anything, but I'm going to play all the different instruments and show how, take them off the rack that I have next to me here, and show why I play each one and what kind of sounds it gets and all that kind of stuff. And I think it's going to be really fun. It will be for me anyway. Pete's Pawn Shop on whatever show is closest to February 9th.
Jeff asked if I still have my Les Paul. That's the one with the Sketches of Spain as the back plate.
Actually, our nephew has that.
Oh yes, we gave that. We sort of lend them out often.
They spread around the family. Yeah, he's a college professor up in New England, and he's got some of our guitars. They rotate in and out of his office there.
This is one of my favorite Beatle covers. Ready?
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Chains, baby's got me locked up in chains, and they ain't the kind that you can see. Whoa, these chains of love got a hold on me, yeah. Chains, I can't break away from these chains. I can't run around, 'cause I'm not free. Whoa, these chains of love won't let me be. No, let me tell you, pretty baby, I think you're fine. I'd like to love you, but darling, I'm imprisoned by these chains. The baby's got me locked up in chains, and they ain't the kind that you can see. Whoa, these chains of love got a hold on me, yeah. Please believe me when I tell you, your lips are sweet. I'd like to kiss them. I can't break away from all of these chains. The baby's got me locked up in chains, and they ain't the kind that you can see. Whoa, these chains of love got a hold on me, yeah. Chains, chains of love, chains of love, chains of love.
I love that song so much that I wrote a song called Chains.
Yeah.
I like to do that sometimes. Pick a title, like Yesterday. Do you know how many songs named Yesterday there are?
Yeah, but there's only
A
one.
lot. There's
big
only one. But we're not going to do that this week. We'll probably do that next week.
Yeah, because that came out in 65. We'll have moved on to the next 2 years. This one's for Andy and Joanne.
Yeah.
Speaking of record collectors and people that met in a record shop and people who have an encyclopedic knowledge of pop music.
We're going to start with that thing. Right?
Yeah.
Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4.
There's a place where I can go when I feel low, when I feel blue, and it's my mind, and there's no time when I'm alone. There's a place where I can go when I feel low, when I feel blue, and it's my mind, and there's no time when I'm alone. There's a place. There's a place. There's a place. Good Beatle chord at the
can
end.
always
Show
put-
them the Beatle chord
You
at
put
the
the
end.
6 in. If you're playing an E, you have this extra finger that you're not using. Stick that on the 2nd fret of the 2nd string. And you get that.
Instant Beatle chord.
Yeah.
People like your guitar tips.
Oh, yeah.
They tell me all the time when we get our.
There'll be a lot of that on the birthday show.
Mm-hmm.
But you don't have to be a guitar player to, you know.
No.
It's-
Well, I even got a letter this week, and the guy said that he likes the guitar tips even though he doesn't understand them.
Yeah. That's the thing.
kinda
You don't
cool.
want to make it like an esoteric
No.
thing.
It's
you
just
know?
little tidbits here and there.
Yeah.
This is a song I used to play with my Syracuse group, the Delta Rays, but I played tambourine on this song. I never played the chords, so I actually had to learn the chords for this
You were
one.
the tambourine girl.
And Bob Broughton asked for this one.
This
so
one's kind of, they loved the Sun, Memphis, Sun, Elvis, the very first Elvis records. And this one's kind of a tribute to they used to cover the song "My Baby Left Me."
yeah.
It's got a bass riff, boom, 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 and it's got a certain guitar riff that goes. Whoops.
Turn that amp up.
The guitar riff goes. Well, my baby left me. So
Yeah.
the Beatles had this genius for like absorbing things and then recycling them in their own way. And this is them being a rockabilly band. 1, 2, 3, 4.
I got every reason on earth to be mad. I just lost the only girl I had. If I could get my way, I'd get myself locked up today, but I can't. I'll cry instead. I got a chip on my shoulder that's bigger than my feet. I can't talk to people that I meet. If I could see you now, trying to make you sad somehow, but I can't. I cry instead. Don't wanna cry when there's people there. I get shy and stop and stare. I'm gonna hide myself away, hey, but I'll come back again someday. When you do, you better hide all the girls. I'm gonna break their hearts all around the world. Yes, I'm gonna break them too. Show you what your loving man can do. But till then, I cry instead. Don't wanna cry when there's people there. I get shy when they stop and stare. I'm gonna hide myself away, hey, but I'll come back again someday. When you do, you better hide all the girls. I'm gonna break their hearts all around the world. Yes, I'm gonna break them too. Show you what your loving man can do. But till then, I cry instead.
That's why I would shake the tambourine at the end.
Tambourine Girl.
Tambourine girl, that would be me.
When I saw Mickey Hart do his show, he had a tambourine girl.
Oh yeah.
She didn't sing or anything. She's just up there doing a noodle dance, playing. And he was playing his drum set with 16 floor toms.
Do you remember one time? I think we might have been at the Warwick Valley Winery, and we were doing our annual, Memorial Day gig there on the big stage outside, and there was a tambourine. I think we did Mr. Tambourine Man, and I got this brilliant idea to who wants to play tambourine? And I threw the tambourine into the audience, and wouldn't you know, the one with the least rhythm.
But she had the right, she had the feel.
But we didn't. That didn't deter us from doing the same thing future years, and it only got better.
That's another song that was in Hard Day's Night.
Yeah, so many good songs.
Ready?
Yeah.
Two, three, 4.
Can't buy me love. alright. 'Cause I don't care too much for money. Money can't buy me love. Give you all I got to give if you say you love me too. I may not have a lot to give, but what I got I give to you. 'Cause I don't care too much for money. Money can't buy me love, can't buy me love. Everybody tells me so, can't buy me love. No, 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 no. Say you don't need no diamond ring, and I'll be satisfied. Tell me that you want the kind of things that the money just can't buy. 'Cause I don't care too much for money. Money can't buy me love. Oh, get it, Pete. Can't buy me love. Everybody tells me so. Can't buy me love. No, 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 no. Say you don't need no diamond ring, and I'll be satisfied. Tell me that you want the kind of things that the money just can't buy. 'Cause I don't care too much for money. Money can't buy me love, can't buy me love. Love can't buy me love.
I was having so much fun in that song that I forgot to sing the harmony in the first chorus.
Is there harmony in the choruses?
Maybe there's not. I mean, you know what I do? I maybe you all do this too. Like if I put on an Everly Brothers record, I sing a third harmony. If I put on a Buddy Holly record, I sing a second. You know, like if it was the Everly Brothers, I would add a harmony.
That's how Graham Nash learned how to sing.
So a
By
lot of these
adding
yeah.
a third part to the Everly Brothers records.
So I think because I always sing along to records that there may or may not be a harmony on there. Maybe there's not. I don't know.
Well, it works though.
It does. It's fun, right? That was Joanne Mitchell's favorite Beatles song, she says.
I'm going back to the Rickenbacker 12 string.
Now, this is a song, there's a special syncopated clap part in this song. And we can't do it while we're playing, so you're going to have to do it yourself. And Steve Knobloch asked for this. And I know that his and Amy's brand new son, Jacob, who was born since we started these shows, Jacob has not missed an episode. But Jacob tends to sleep through the quiet songs. So
He likes the rhythmic songs.
I imagine he's going to be dancing this. He's probably up and dancing this, and he's probably going to sleep really well tonight.
This will be a
That's
good
my
wake-up
guess.
song.
Ready?
We'll send this one out to Steve. To Jacob.
To Jacob, especially. But
Ready?
Steve asked for it, yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Ooh, I need your love, babe. Yes, you know it's true. I hope you need my love, babe, just like I need you. Hold me, love me, hold me, love me. I ain't got nothing but love, babe. 8 days a week, good to you. Oh, hold me, love me, hold me, love me. I ain't got nothing but love, babe. 8 days a week, 8 days a week, 8 days a week. Woo!
You know that first trip the Beatles made to New York to play on Ed Sullivan, they also were presented with the Rickenbacker 12-string guitar.
Yeah.
It was only, I think, the second one that Rickenbacker had ever made. So no one else had one. And when they went back to England, they recorded that song. And for the next few months, like everything they did all over the Hard Day's Night album and movie is Rickenbacker 12-string. That's when Roger McGuinn, he saw the movie and then he got into the Rickenbacker 12-string. So every time I play this instrument, I always think of McGuinn and also George Harrison, the two, two titans of the Rickenbacker 12-string.
We're going to send this next, we're going to pay tribute and memorial to another listener. Our listener, Paul Tan, over in England, lost his father, Eng Kyong, a couple years ago, but it was sudden. And, that kind of loss is not something you get over quickly. Paul says that his dad, Eng, loved the Beatles and probably would have loved this show. So we're going to send this one out to him. Ready?
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Last night I said these words to my girl. I know you never even tried, girl.
Come on,
Come on,
come on,
come on,
come on,
come on,
come on.
come on, please please me, oh yeah, like I please you. You don't need me to show away love. Why do I always have to say love? Come on, come on,
Come on,
come on,
come on,
come on, come on, please please me, oh yeah, like I please you.
It's happening, but you know it's always in my heart.
In my heart, you, oh yeah, why do you make me blue? Last night I said these words to my girl. I know you never even tried, girl.
Come on,
Come on,
come on,
come on,
come on,
come on.
come on.
Come on, please, please, me, oh yeah, like I please you, me, oh yeah, like I please you, me, oh yeah, like I please
There's
That's-
that E with the second fret.
That's for Eng Kyong in memory, loving memory, and with condolences to Paul for his loss. Well,
Frank Hartje asked for this one.
actually, Frank Hartje III,
Oh, really?
young,
Yeah.
that young buck,
Yeah.
young Frank
No,
asked for
Frank.
this,
No, young Frank.
who was young when we first met him 20 years ago. So I don't suppose but he's younger than Frank II.
Yeah, and he's younger than us too.
He is younger than us. Yes, that's true.
I'm gonna
And
have
he'll
a
always
sip
be
of
younger
tea
than-
from my English Brown Betty
Oh,
teacup, as
very
they call
nice.
it, and I have milk in the tea, of course, since
Oh,
we're doing
yes.
all English songs.
Drink tea and carry on or something. How does that go? Keep calm. Keep calm and
Keep
play
calm
Beatles
and-
songs.
Keep calm and brew
You
some
can't
tea.
you can't keep calm and play Beatles songs at the same time because they're so energetic.
This one is my favorite Beatles song.
Oh, really?
I know there's like 250 some songs, but this is my favorite one. Ready?
Yeah. One,
One, two.
three.
No, if you break my heart, I'll go. slow. I'm the one who wants you. Yes, I'm the one who wants you. Oh, 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 oh. You could find better things to do than to break my heart again. This time I will try to show that I'm not trying to pretend. I thought that you would realize that if I ran away from you, that you would want me to. But I got a big surprise. Oh, 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 you could find better things to do than to break my heart again. This time I will try and show that I'm not trying to pretend. I wanna go, but I hate to leave you. You know I hate to leave you. Oh, 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 you know, if you break my heart, I'll go, but I'll be back again.
That's for Frank out there in Ohio. I don't know if he's still in Ohio, but I know his dad is.
Yeah. I'm not sure where he's doing his thing right now.
So we have another memorial dedication. Our regular listener, Mark Price, lost his mother-in-law, Doris Kalan, to COVID last week. And so we're going to send this one to her. We picked this song because this is a good song to conjure up our mothers and our mothers-in-law, people who are always there for us, right? So this is for you, Mark, with all of our deepest condolences. Anytime at all.
2, 3, 4, 1.
Anytime at all. Anytime at all. Anytime at all. All you gotta do is call, and I'll be there.
Need somebody to love. Just look into my eyes. I'll be there to make you feel right. If you're feeling sorry or sad, I really said goodbyes. Don't you be sad, just call me tonight.
Anytime at all. Anytime at all. Anytime at all. All you gotta do is call, and I'll be there.
The sun has faded away. I'll try to make it shine. There is nothing I won't do. You need a shoulder to cry on. I hope it will be mine. Call me tonight and I'll come to you.
Anytime at all. Anytime at all. Anytime at all. All you gotta do is call, and I'll be there. Anytime at all. Anytime at all. Anytime at all. All you gotta do is call, and I'll be there. Anytime at all. All you gotta do is call, and I'll be there.
I love that song.
I'll get
That's
it.
another one of my favorite ones.
I got it finally. Yeah, that is for Mark on the loss of his mother-in-law, Doris.
John
What a
Lennon.
rough, what a rough.
What a great singer and songwriter.
We have a friend in the west of England who was a friend of John Lennon's. He was in art school with John Lennon, and they made a lot of mischief together. He had some great stories. His name is Robot George Hollingworth. He's a great artist, and the first time we played any gig at all, the two of us, was right near Liverpool.
In Southport, at the beach.
At the beach, we did. But then we went back later on. That was when we were with Nancy. We went back later on our own and played at this great place called Grateful Fred's. It's a series.
In Southport.
It's also in Southport.
Yeah.
And Robot George came in, and he is this dapper English gentleman on the outside, and he's full of mischief and creativity on the inside. And every time we go there, he makes us. He's called Robot George because he makes these robot creatures.
The robots.
And so he made. Can you see this? This is what comes out of the art school that John Lennon went to. Robot George's class was his classmate. This is Lanky the chef. Oh, I like this one.
That's a really good one.
This is Frankie, rhymes with Lanky. It's a Frankenstein guitarist. And I don't know if you can see, he wrote my name on the guitar strap, Mora. So I that's me in effigy. And then, this is, and he even signed it, Tumora, from George, Robot George. And my favorite one, I like this one a lot.
Oh, I love that one.
This is his teddy boy.
Teddy Boy.
He had a microphone. He's got a microphone somewhere. Isn't that great? Look at his hair. Oh, isn't that great? His hair was perfect. So that's Robot George. And he, didn't they steal a PA or something? They did all kinds of really great stuff.
Well, he
fun
said
stuff.
that John, the Beatles had a gig, and when John was still in school, and he borrowed the PA system. They had a small PA system, and he never brought it back.
I think we all have stories like that.
I actually read that in a book later on.
Yeah.
But George was right there. He probably helped them steal it. Actually, probably helped load it in the van.
Also, as we usually do, we're going to run overtime a little bit, but that's okay because we love doing all these songs.
Yeah.
So we're going to send this one out to Robot George in Southport. I think he's in he lives in Blackpool, actually. But, ready?
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4.
I should've known better with a girl like you, that I would love everything that you do, and I do. Hey, 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 and I do. Whoa, whoa, I never realized what a kiss could be.
chance for Robot George.
That song has a lot of Buddy Holly-isms.
It does,
doesn't
yeah.
it?
Yep.
A lot, oh. And stuff.
Oh.
And a little bit of the Little Richard thing, too. They had become friends with Little Richard
Yeah.
in Germany, and that's where they picked up that.
Oh,
and
yeah.
started writing that into their songs.
Pedro Olaya in the north of Spain is a regular listener. He asked for a few songs. We're going to send this one out to him.
There's another song that this is one of my absolute
Another favorite,
ones.
right?
Yeah, I read a little interview with Jackson Browne one time, and they said, "What is it about songwriting? What makes a great song?" And he said, "It's the melody." And then he sang part of this
Yeah.
song.
Ready?
When I'm walking beside her, people tell me I'm lucky. Yes, I know I'm a lucky guy. I remember the first time I was lonely without her. Can't stop thinking about her now. Every little thing she does for me, yeah. And you know the things she does for me. Ooh. When I'm with her, I'm happy, just to know that she loves me. Yes, I know that she loves me now. There is one thing I'm sure of, I will love her forever. For I know love will never die. Every little thing she does for me, yeah. And you know the things she does for me. Every little thing she does for me, yeah. And you know the things she does for me. Ooh. Every little thing, every little thing.
There's some Roy Orbison in here. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Oh yeah, the timpani.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ringo on the timpani. That's it. That's
No.
her. Yeah,
Every little thing she does
yeah,
for me. That's very Roy Orbison.
yeah.
Roy Orbison.
I was just getting the last chord of the solo,
Oh.
so I didn't get it right during the song. I'll do it now.
Take two. All right. Okay. Now this is the biggest challenge for me. I every summer usually we go up to New Hampshire, and we teach at a summer music camp. And I always teach a rhythm guitar class, and I teach a lot of like Buddy Holly beat and what I call blum blums and all kinds of stuff like this. But I also teach like looseness, because like if you play too tense, then you can't. You're not as mobile, right?
The wrist.
The wrist. And so I always tell my students there to go and watch the Beatles on Ed Sullivan when they play this song, and specifically to zero in on John Lennon's right hand. And it's amazing. He can play as fast as he plays triplets, ba-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da, and he doesn't drop a beat. And I'm going to try not to drop a beat.
And he looks so calm. He looks like he's like waiting for a bus or something.
I know.
He's
He's like joking around with the guys and everything. So
Yeah, he was a great. They were all great at what they did.
So we're going to send this one out to Sam and Bonnie. They asked for a bunch of songs, but we're going to dedicate this one to them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Close your eyes
And I kiss you. Tomorrow I'll miss you. Remember I'll always be true. And then while I'm away, I'll ride home every day, and I'll send all my love to you. I'll pretend that I'm kissing the lakeside and listen and hope that my dreams will come true. Close your eyes and I'll kiss you. Tomorrow I'll miss you. Remember, I'll always be true. And then while I'm away, I'll ride home every day, and I'll send all my love to you. All my loving I will send to you. All my loving, darling, I'll be true. All my loving, all my loving, ooh, all my loving, I will send to you.
There's that. Pinky again.
Yeah.
I did it. I got through
You
it.
did it.
The hardest part about that is not dropping your pick.
Yeah.
I put some Gorilla Tape.
Wow.
I have a Gorilla Tape on one side.
It's
and
kind of related to the Buddy Holly Peggy Sue beat, isn't it? Although it's
No,
not the same because that's not triplets, but it's still
it's a
real
gal.
fast,
Bum, bada,
yeah.
bum. That's one of the beats I teach too.
Wow.
I teach bum bada bum, and I teach ba da 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 da.
Wow.
And I teach ba 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 ba.
So when you're teaching that class, sometimes I'll walk into the room and there's like 20 people all going like. It's an amazing
With
sound.
looks of pain on. But the other hardest thing about that is playing that sitting down, because I always teach my students, if you're going to stay with the beat, get
Jump
up and
around.
like dance to the beat. But if I stand up, well, I'm out of the shot. But you can see my lovely skirt. Okay, are we at the end?
Yes.
Oh my gosh!
We're at the
Okay,
last song. This is the big dance.
the big
number.
finale next week. Beatles, 65, 66.
Yeah. Two very what would you say?
They're pretty monumental.
Fruitful years for them, songwriting wise.
And so are these. I mean, they all are in their own way.
They all are, yeah.
So this is part one of our Beatles mini series. Next week is part two of our Beatles mini series. And again, we thank you so much for being here. You can always go to our website to get the link for all of our archives. Visit our tip jar, see news, and all stuff like that. And we're gonna ask you all now to stand up. Get up. I'm sure you're already standing up, right? You're all dancing anyways.
It's the dance number.
And we're going to send this last one out to John and Karen Willie. Ready?
1, 2, 3, 4.
She was just 17, you know what I mean. And the way she looked is way beyond compare. How could I dance with another? Oh, when I saw her standing there. Well, she looked at me, and I could see that before too long
So much fun. So much fun.
Can't wait till next week already.
Next week,
Got a
Beatles
lot of
65,
more great
66.
songs.
Thank you all so much for being here. I threw my mask on the floor. I will just do this. Wear your masks, everybody. And also, to all the workers, all the frontline workers, thank you. I know you're getting vaccines now. We want to say a special thank you to Nancy Chase, who's a regular viewer, and she's a pediatric cardiologist. She's been on the front lines, as has Stacy Lau, who works at the county hospital in LA, just feeling all these people coming in and out. So please keep wearing your masks, keep each other safe, keep the nurses and the doctors from being overloaded any more than they are. And we will see you right back here next week for Beatles 65, 66.